The ocean is a vast, mysterious place, full of secrets that we are only beginning to uncover. Imagine descending into the deep sea where the light fades and bioluminescent creatures cast an eerie glow. Down here, in the depths, lies a world that is both beautiful and enigmatic, waiting to be explored. The ocean is vast, so vast in fact that we've only explored about 5% of it. And in that dark, mysterious expanse lies a world that is rarely seen or understood. But every now and then, something extraordinary surfaces. And one of our latest discoveries? A tiny creature with a huge personality.
It's not real evidence. It is now. Fellas.
The grumpy dwarf goby. Now, at first glance, the dwarf goby might seem insignificant. Just another small fish living in the ocean's depths. But what we've found about this species is remarkable. Let's start with the obvious. This goby is not your average deep-sea dweller. Despite being only about an inch long, this fish is known for its unique behavior and, well, its attitude. This isn't the kind of creature you'd find lounging peacefully on the ocean floor. Oh no, the dwarf goby is constantly on the move, as if it's got something to prove. Marine biologist. Media. Marine biologist observing fish, scientist looking at fish in underwater setting. We started calling it the grumpy goby because of how it behaves around its environment. It always looks like it's annoyed, darting around, twitching, its tiny eyes watching everything with a suspicious glare. It's as if the entire ocean is doing something wrong in its eyes, and it's had enough. The goby aggressively swims around a small space, dodging debris and staying alert. But the grumpiness is a survival trait. The deep sea is unforgiving, and every creature down here knows that. Predators like the anglerfish and the gulper eel are lurking just out of sight. For a fish this small, being constantly on edge means staying alive. Marine biologist, media. Marine biologist in a lab, twilight zone of the ocean with faint light, deep sea fish under high-pressure conditions. The dwarf goby lives in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. The twilight zone of the ocean, where sunlight barely reaches, and the pressure is intense. Most life here has had to evolve in strange and extraordinary ways to survive. But this little goby, it's adapted by becoming one of the fastest and most elusive swimmers in the deep. The goby darts through cracks in the rock, narrowly avoiding a larger fish. Speed and agility are its greatest assets. It can move with a burst of energy that helps it evade predators, but it also uses these abilities to find food. The dwarf goby is a carnivore, feeding on smaller crustaceans and plankton. It has to act quickly because food is scarce down here. But there's more to this little fish than its quick reflexes. It turns out the dwarf goby has a fascinating social structure too. These fish aren't solitary creatures. In fact, they thrive in groups, working together for survival. They gather in schools, moving as one, almost like a coordinated dance. This behavior not only helps them avoid predators, but also makes them more efficient hunters. They can cover more ground as a group, and when one goby spots danger, the entire school can react instantly. It's survival through community, a rare trait in the deep sea where most species are loners. What's really fascinating about this discovery is the goby's ability to blend in with its surroundings. They have what's known as cryptic coloration, which means they can change their appearance slightly to mimic the colors and textures of their environment. It's an extraordinary skill, especially in an area where everything is trying to eat you. In this environment, standing out can be a death sentence. So, when the goby needs to hide, it can essentially vanish from view, blending seamlessly with the rocks, coral, and debris around it. It's not quite invisibility, but it's close. And then there's the breeding strategy. Unlike many deep-sea creatures that have slow reproduction rates due to harsh conditions, the dwarf goby is prolific. They lay eggs in protected areas, tiny crevices, and under rocks, ensuring the next generation has a chance to grow up without becoming an easy meal for predators. This reproductive strategy has helped the dwarf goby population remain stable in such a hostile environment. In many ways, they're one of the ocean's most resilient species. But here's the thing about the grumpy dwarf goby. Beneath that tough, defensive exterior, there's a creature that has mastered the art of survival. It's fast, it's smart, and it's incredibly adaptable. It may be small, but it's one of the toughest creatures we've discovered in the deep. In a place where most life forms have to evolve into strange, monstrous shapes just to stay alive, the dwarf goby has remained relatively simple, small, fast, and efficient. And it's a reminder that sometimes in the deep sea, the most unassuming creatures can be the most extraordinary. So the next time you think about deep sea discoveries, don't just focus on the giants or the monsters. Remember the little guys like the grumpy dwarf goby. It may be tiny, but it's a fierce survivor in one of the harshest environments on the planet. And that in itself makes it one of the most remarkable creatures we've found.